Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream Park on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. It's Brian Nato and Samantha Perry with you. As you see, it's just a lovely day here in South Florida. It kind of feels like a summer day a little bit.
Yeah, it does. Muggy.
But the track is fast, the turf is firm, and Brian, it's Breeders' Cup Saturday. Always an exciting day just in general at the racetrack.
Yeah, we've got a strong 11 race card today, and we're going to kind of I believe our 10th and 11th race is in between the Breeders' Cup Classic. We're going to show that obviously on the big screen, and then you can stick around. It was a good crowd yesterday. Should be even better today on Saturday. Those Breeders' Cup races, I think, go all the way almost till about 9 o'clock tonight. Yep. So there'll be a lot of fun. Stick around. Silks will be popping, and we've got, again, good, strong card. 2 turf stakes today as well.
Yeah, very exciting. And, of course, the Rainbow did not get hit yesterday. There were some very live chances, but in a kind of a head-scratching type of finale, but $75,000 in that estimated pool. And Ron Nicoletti will have the ticket as always. But, Brian, you've got the early pick 5 ticket in what is a very competitive sequence, and excited to see what you do here.
Yeah, the opener's pretty tough, so I went 5 deep in this spot. I had 2 deep in race number 3, and with a big scratch in there, I can single. I had a $75 ticket, so in a weird sort of way, I'm okay with that. It's a big ticket. So we'll go 5 deep in the opener here. In race number 2, we've got the single, the 7 singled, and that's Grand Tower is going to be tough in there. Race number 3, the 1, who I always did have on top, Rachel's Song. And then in race number 4, you can see a 3x5 late double. Race 4, I've got the 2 McGinnis on top, might get loose in there. And in race number 5, we'll go 4 deep with the 6, and that is 3 Run Bolt for Gerald Bennett, who's at a very, very strong Sunshine meet. $30 now, early pick 5.
I like it, and the opener is a tough race here, and very early in the betting, but wide open so far. 7.5 furlongs on that firm turf course. We'd love to see a grass race kick off the day here today, and they're maidens. They're 2-year-old fillies, and it is a clean race of 11 here. And Brian, the 5, Phoenix of Wit for you, has the race experience.
Yeah, the race experience, the stretch out now. You know, we're by a European sire out of a European mare, so distance is really going to help, I think. This daughter of Lupe de Vega. Mika Husband's aboard, the Hot Apprentice. We get a little weight allowance as well. The Dam wanted to run on turf. She won a turf stakes. So I think a lot of signs point to Phoenix of Wit for DJ and Joe Orsino moving forward today. And I think that's what we're trying to figure out in this opener, who's going to move forward on the turf and getting some extra ground as well.
Yeah, I think that maybe Phoenix of Wit might be the better filly today, but I think in the long run, Smudge is going to be better. Sure. Smudge was working with Brutally Honest, who won first time out. So we'll see there, but both of the DJ Sables horses look pretty live. The 4 underneath is coming out of that same Phoenix of Wit race for you, another one that should move forward with more.
Yeah, see, the 4 is interesting. Your long shot won the opener yesterday, did it with a speed pop, and I think that's what Laguna Seca is going to try to do here, because she chased wild splits on the Tapeta. Now we'll route by War Will out of a City Zip mare. The interesting thing is the Dam Catch a Thrill was turf sprint, but I think this turf course can carry you a little bit. The rails are at 0 here, but I just think this is a send mission, and she might get brave in this spot.
We'll talk about the 10. I don't have the 10 in my top 4. Brendan Walsh, good to see him have some horses back here in the mix. And we found a stat. Ron did. Ron's been a good stat boy as of late here with Brendan, with first-time starters on the turf. It's not the highest.
It's not great. It's not bad. It's 12%, you know, first-time starters on the turf. Edgard's here. They're probably going to bet this horse. The other foal that ran didn't win on debut, but is okay. Succeed in success. Banked over $170. Brendan could use a little luck, I think, after yesterday in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. So I would expect them to bet this horse. You know, if you see 7-1, it's pointless to talk about the odds now, but this is the type of horse. If you see 8, 9, 10-1 by post time, well, it's basically telling you not today.
Exactly. Race number 2, it's a claiming 8,000. Non-winners of 2 on the Tapeta, mile and 70 yards. We scratch number 2 or Orb Alpha. It leaves a field of 8. The early pick 4, Brian, you'll run that back on Twitter?
I will indeed, yeah.
Okay, great, awesome. So as far as this race goes, you've got the 7 on top, Grand Tower, Victor Barboza.
I'll give him one more chance.
Yeah.
Did rain a little bit this morning, not much, but I think the Tapeta could be tight.
Yep.
Grand Tower, threw victory away last time, 2-length lead, but now from 6-1 last time in a much more competitive race. Las Olas came back to win the other day somehow. I don't know why or how. Grand Tower to catch and beat today at what I would expect to be a very, very short number.
Yeah, and this horse just looks like the one to beat. I was hoping
Lucis can beat, too.
Well, that's the thing, and I was hoping the 4 might get kind of pace set up, but the way that Tapeta was playing yesterday, there's no way you can be a 1-run closer.
No, it's not going to happen.
No.
But look, Lomachenko has been in decent enough form. Is going to get a piece. Maybe if somebody goes with the favorite, maybe it sets him up a little bit better, at least than it looks on paper.
Yeah, still kind of big maybes. And the 8, this barn has been quite sneaky.
Yeah, without a doubt. Popped one the other day. Pulled the wool over everybody's eyes the other day. This horse is dropping in class, and I think we've talked about this before. The 8s to 10s, not a big deal. When you're dropping from 16 to 8, I do think it's significant.
I think so too, and I think that's a horse that we both got in our mix, and you probably should too. Now, race number 3, it's a $35,000 starter allowance, a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta track. We do have a scratch of the 7 parallel, as you said. It's kind of the only significant scratch.
Yeah,
I think we
on
have.
The card.
Yeah, the 1 for you on top, Rachel's Song.
Yeah, the 1 now likely will be a very short number today, and we want to wish Jose D'Angelo and the team all the best with Howard Wallowitz out at Del Mar.
And Ben Tornado.
And Ben Tornado, absolutely. The Florida bred Ben Tornado. Jose won a stakes race out there yesterday on the undercard of the Breeders' Cup Friday card, so best of luck to those guys and the team and all that go into him. But, Rachel's Song, you look at the Tapeta race too back, and it's just it's kind of sitting there right in front of you because that dominant win came off a layoff that was over a year, well over a year. Now we're back. The turf run was really good too, just showing that her form is right there, and she looks to be something to 5 now with the scratch of parallel.
And Sarah's Dream was her barn mate, and just rattled off another win after that. The 6, I just was hoping maybe for a fresh face in this race here, and I thought she ran well last time. I mean, she'll have to step it up, but still, maybe she can get a piece.
Yes, she did. Unfortunately, the price is probably going to be slashed in half with the big scratch.
Yeah.
This is a really good group, and I think it's a lot better than the one she faced, but she didn't run poorly at all.
No, she didn't. The number 4, Confer, Laura Cesares sends out this filly. I don't really this is a good field for her. I think this is about similar to last time that she faced.
And her form's good. She's consistent. She can get a piece, maybe seconds a little high. But you know what I like with her, and I guess it's a testament to Lionel, who was okay after the spill yesterday. Yeah. He walked back. He was on the phone, so everything's good with him. Great to see. Since Lionel's gotten aboard, he's put a little more speed into her, and I think it's been huge. If you look at her form, she was dropping way out the back. Mm-hmm. He's put a little more speed in her, and it's been really, really beneficial.
Yeah, and you have to have that on the Tapeta here for sure, especially just looking at yesterday. Now, race number 4. It's a mile and a 16th, a maiden special weight on that firm turf course. The rails are at 66 feet here for this grass race here, and the number 2 McGinnis will be ridden by Lionel Reyes, as you just talked about him, so we'll just segue right into McGinnis.
I would think at least this is going to be a send mission for McGinnis. I think he's going to get loose in here. That's got to be the path to victory. Off the claim for Nolan Ramsey. Now, William Walden does a really good job. He's turned out to be a very high percentage young trainer in Kentucky, so it might be easier said than done to improve on him, but I like this claim. Nolan, a longtime assistant for Mike Maker, is going to have a penchant for these turf horses, and I think this could be a very, very crafty claim, and I love what he's doing here. Claims for 50 out of Kentucky, right back in a maiden special weight. We'll try to strike while the iron's hot here. Yeah,
you should. Went to the bench for just a little bit, but I think that's just a nice little freshening up. The 7's my long shot cruising, and we kind of talked about this colt a little bit here. I like the way the Catalina Cruisers have been running, and he already got the 2-turn race out of the way. And I feel like Jose D'Angelo sometimes can sneak under the radar with types of horses like this, because on the turf his record is just not as good.
It's not as good, but he has done it a couple times with a horse like this, and what I mean by that is a horse with literally no form that's been dreadful in 2 starts.
Yeah.
Jose's moved him to the turf, and they've moved way up. I know you like this rider as well, so we'll see what we get today. They paid $200,000 for this horse, and they haven't got a nickel of it back yet, so maybe it could be the turf. We bring some foundation into this spot, too.
Which helps. That 2-turn foundation really helps put some bottom in a horse. Now, the 8 Bell Mountain is the one to beat on his day, and you found his you've got a replay of his last race in August. I mean, he is the one to beat.
He is. If you bet him this day, I feel so sorry for you. I don't know how he lost or how he didn't win this photo. It's a big-time run here, and as Samantha said, he's clearly the horse to beat in here, but, you know, that's great. Good for him, but the losses are kind of sort of adding up a little bit. His margin for error is a pretty scant one, and he's probably just going to run this race again. And what that means is he's at the mercy of somebody else that if they blow up a little bit and run a career best race, he might run like this again and run second. I had Quattrocento here, and I still don't know how he won. This was impossible. So Bell Mountain, the race goes through him, but you're also allowed at 5-2 on your morning line. You're allowed to look elsewhere too.
Yep, it's a very competitive race. One more before the end of the late pick 5 or early pick 5, and hopefully you're still alive. But the race number 5, one more now before we get to the Rainbow 6, 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. It's $8,000 level, non-winners of 2. We scratched the number 2, Summer Gold, and Renzo Rojas will ride the number 4 here, and the 6 on top for you. You alluded to it, Gerald Bennett and Sammy Camacho. These two very dangerous. Yeah,
very dangerous. They're 30% here. The AE's out too. I thought initially the AE was coming in, but the AE is out. Spirit of Victory, morning line favorite, is out. Sammy and Gerald, how about them? 30%. You think of them at Tampa, but they're getting ready for Tampa, I would assume, at least Sammy. Boy, what a good job he's done as he's kind of moonlighting here before Tampa opens, and boy, he might go over there and win about 40% with the way he's been riding here. And Gerald Bennett, it's great to see him run, I think, more horses here than normally he would run. The barn's been good. Hey, this is the take turns kind of race, and 3 Run Bolt's got good form. I feel like he's been coming out of some okay races. I like the post here as well. You could go many different ways in this spot.
We just got a update. Races 1, 4, and 7 are off the grass, so we will have some bookkeeping to do here, and we'll keep you updated. Of course, Darren upstairs, he'll give you the scratches and the changes as well, but that just came in, and thank you to cameraman Dennis for that legible handwriting to read that. But 1, 4, and 7 are off the grass. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have the Rainbow 6 time to get up, so don't go away.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian Nato and Samantha Perry with you on this beautiful Breeders' Cup Saturday. If you're just now joining us, races 1, 4, and 7 are off the turf. We just got that news. Of course, we will catch you up on all of the scratches, but Rainbow 6 starts race 6. We'll just kind of give a brief overview of race 7 because, of course, we don't have the scratches or anything for that, but we will get them to you. But race number 6 kicks off the Rainbow 6, and Brian will take a look at Ron's ticket.
Yeah, the definition of late breaking we found out as you found
Yes.
out. So here we go. Three deep here in race 7. Well, race 7, Ronnie may have to rework this.
Yeah.
We'll see what's going on there. Typically, though, the good thing about it is, and we're going to get to this race in a second, you're not going to see a lot of scratches and changes. The stakes kept together. That's the beauty. Here, race number 8, he's going too deep. The stakes are race 9 and 11. They'll stay on the turf, and you can see Ronnie's got a bookend in race 11, and that is Silent Heart, who I do think is the best horse in a very, very competitive showing up, which is the brother race of the Cellar Shiraz that we ran in the finale yesterday on a 3240 Rainbow, and there's $75,000 in the estimated jackpot. As we saw yesterday, the 3, maybe they weren't betting favorites, they might have been morning line favorites, but the 3 of the favorites were all singles yesterday. So you got a chance here. Get involved.
Yep, you do indeed. And the 6th race kicking it off, maiden special weight. These are 2-year-old 6.5 furlongs on the main track. It's a full field of 9, and the 4 on top for you, Indecisiveness. And we'll pull up the work because this was a very good work.
Yeah, this is my best bet of the day, and I remember texting you after I saw this work. I said, wow, you better look out here. I think Ruben Sierra's got a runner. This is a half the personal choice who Ruben, we haven't seen her in a bit, so I don't know what's up, but she was 2 for 2, and she's run off the screen in both their races. Now, Indecisiveness is down on the inside. I don't really know what Valid Sense is or what she could be, but watch the horse on the outside is basically all out, and the horse on the inside is in about 3rd gear right now.
Yeah, just so professional and so forward in a way that you want to see a minute and 3 almost work. And it's just, that's good to see that he's doing it, well within himself. That's what you want to see coming into a race. And what a cozy draw as well.
I agree with everything you said. I think they're going to bet this horse. I wasn't going to step out a limb and make this horse favorite. It wouldn't be surprised if he is, because now, conversely, we're going to show you Bear Claw Necklace. I'm surprised you picked this horse.
Well, I switched them. I did put the 4 on top of the 5, but I just didn't switch it on what I gave the guys. So that's not their fault. It's my fault. But the 5 Bear Claw Necklace, we'll take a look. Now, I do want to say this about Bear Claw Necklace, and I told you this. Yeah. The horse that he's working with, Safi thinks is his best filly that he's got, best young filly. That's Rojo Rita, so put her in your stable mail. But Bear Claw Necklace breaks really sharp, but just doesn't have that quick speed that I think Indecisiveness does. It's like it takes him a little bit to get into a nice rhythm. I think he's talented, but I just don't think that I don't know. This barn I can't get right or wrong. I can't get on the right side of with these horses.
No, they paid $19 for him, Lord Nelson. That's neither here nor there, really. It doesn't matter. He can still be a really good horse. But I don't think this is one of Safi's heavy hitters. The works. I'm not playing this horse anywhere. Yeah. In an A-level kind of ticket, because all of the works to me where he was really under a lot of pressure. Maybe the filly's going to be really good. That's great. But she would, if they really were trying, she would have dragged him around there and drubbed him. Yeah.
The 3 Fountain Run we don't have anywhere, but it is a Todd Pletcher firster, and we do have a nice stat on the barn here of the son of Run Happy, a Calumet homebred here that Ron found. 31% first-time starter, maiden special weights the last 5 years, but that's typically during the championship meet.
Yeah, that's 100% correct. Now, this horse could be good. We don't know, but let's just tell you what we do know. This horse was at Monmouth this summer, so right away we know that horse is not the A-team. Okay, he wasn't in New York, wasn't at Saratoga. It's a homebred as well. There's no pedigree at all. 1 for 4 dam, broker maiden. She wasn't much in her second start. 4th foal. The other 3 literally couldn't run at all, and certainly none of them won on debut. So this is a total play against for me. Maybe the tote board says otherwise, but this is a big fade, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think you've got to find some value here, and definitely we'll get to take a look at it beforehand and see what's going on, and also check the tote board too, because that's just so significant. Now, race number 7, it starts 2 different wagers, the late pick 5 and the tropical Tapeta Turf pick 3.
Yeah. Oh, good work.
We do have race 7 off the grass here, so we're not going to show our picks. I will show you my tickets, and we'll just have to rework this leg here. I'll just focus more on the other leg. So we'll start with the late pick 5 here, and this race is kind of irrelevant at the moment, but my single in race number 8 is the 7 Gone Nuts. It's low-hanging fruit, but I just think that this horse is the one to beat. Race number 9, I do have the 7 on top. That is Formulate for Rohan Crichton. Race number 10, I've got the 6 on top in a spread type of race, Danielson. And in the finale, what a competitive race, the Showing Up, I do have the 10 on top, Silent Heart for Brian Lynch. It's a $54 play. And in the Tropical Tapeta Turf pick 3, it's $54 as well for me. We'll get into race 7 once we know what is happening as far as that. It is now on the Tapeta, but races 9 and 11 competitive ones. And like I said, in race number 11, I've got the 10 Silent Heart for a nice 15% low takeout, $3 minimum. And race 7, Brian, off the Tapeta, or off the turf on the Tapeta.
Yeah, so this is important. You know, we haven't had a chance as we literally just got this information.
Yep.
So we haven't had a chance. But the one thing I really do want to mention is that Towser, who was going to very likely be a very strong favorite on the turf, I'll just say she's not as good on
Agreed.
the Tapeta.
Yeah.
I don't think she's very good at all on the Tapeta. She's not as good on the Tapeta. So the morning line's out of whack, and I think the picks you really need to – normally we're going to say, hey, you know, Tapeta turf, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
There's plenty of horses with now Tapeta form that look as good, if not better, than Towser, who quite honestly doesn't look all that good on Tapeta.
Yep, I could not agree more, and I think that's very significant moving forward. And of course, once we get all the scratches, we will get you updated on that. Now, race number 8, it's 6 furlongs on the main track, and Brian has got his late pick 4 ticket, and let's see what you did.
Yeah, we'll take a look at this one. It's a pretty expansive one because I'm spreading in the last race. Both turf stakes are still on the turf, so that's the good news here, even though we lost a trio of them early on, which is a bummer. Okay, 87, we'll get to this race in a second. Race 9, I've got the 8 on top, Bridle a Butterfly. Race number 10, this is my long shot. Swan Lake, hey, maybe it's his turn, who knows? And that's the kind of race that is. And listen, everybody's picking the 10. It certainly looks like, and I am too, it certainly looks like Silent Heart's probably going to be a shorter number than 4-1. He's like a quarter length better than everybody else.
Yep.
He hasn't been here in a while, and he's got a bad post too. So I want to spread a little bit, but I do have him on top very tepidly, and it's great to see Brian Lynch's name back in the entry box. And I will remind everybody what a prolific start he got off to last year, albeit in the championship meet. It's a little early for Brian, but yeah, very hot start last year.
6 furlongs for this claiming 62.50 level. The number 4 Money Song is out of this race. The number 8 Solomon's Gold for you on top on the class drop.
Yeah, I got a feeling you better look out here today. Because a couple things here. Look at the bullet on the 20th. I think that's a big deal. We got a Mesiel here. Just draw a line through the Del Mar race. I'm not going to worry about that. We're drawing outside, Gone Nuts. I admittedly, you've heard me say this, I can't ever figure Rohan Crichton out. I can't get him right. Why Gone Nuts just going to run back for 62.50?
Why not?
I know, but why want run for 8 or 10?
Why?
Because
when you win
he
at
could win
60,
that.
well, maybe, but maybe this was just the race that they had.
It's possible. I just I'm a little. My gut says no. Gone Nuts today.
Yeah, that's true. I know that they don't agree with your stomach sometimes. Nuts do. Race number 9. It's a very, very competitive edition of the Armed Forces, and so excited to have that on the grass course here for this. And we'll let you know what the conditions of that are whenever we know.
Yeah.
But to one.
What do we got? Okay.
Okay, so the rails are at 66 feet for this 9th race, so make sure you note that. We'll remind you throughout the day, but they were originally scheduled for 0 feet, so now 66 feet. So pay attention to that. And the number 8 on top for you, Bridal a Butterfly, who was so impressive here on debut.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't pick this horse. There's 10 horses entered in this race. 7 of them are between 4-1 and 6-1. Okay, so that's the type of race it is.
Yeah.
We'll show you the debut. Yeah, it's at 6 furlongs. I get that. Excuse me, 5 furlongs. I get that. But look at the pedigree here.
Yeah.
We're by a Derby, well, kind of sort of a Derby winner with Stormcat on the bottom. I don't remember the last time I saw Stormcat in a pedigree here. And just, I know it's 21-1. I get all that, but just watch this horse level off in the lane in a really, really strong debut. We'll have to negotiate another turn on the turf today, but certainly handled it last time on the Tapeta. So I'm right back with this horse on the turf.
He quickens so nice as well. I think he's a huge player here. I don't think he really wanted much part of the Tapeta. He still ran well because he's got some class, but I still think that the grass is much better for him. I'm just not going to let Rohan Crichton sneak this by on me again like last time. This is he took a stakes last weekend in a much similar fashion. It, of course, had one start and had one on the Tapeta, put him right on the grass, and won again. What I like about this horse is he's got a little bit of tactical speed. At the sale, the OBS March sale, he was a post-sale buy, but he's got a nice light hip, and I suggest the grass should be right down his alley.
Yeah, and they tried to get him on the grass in the
yeah.
debut. My only bugaboo is that he was entered for 35, so I don't know.
Right.
Rohan's, as crafty as Rohan is, I don't really think he plays poker with these kind of horses. The fact that he was entered for 35 says, I don't know, but he's a player in here.
The number 3, Scarecrow. This horse, I am shocked that he got up for the win. You don't see horses win like this on the Tapeta.
No, watch this effort. And I know it was on the Tapeta, but we got to show this effort because that's how good it was for Delgado and Arundel. Sammy Camacho is here. You know, there's not a ton of turf in this pedigree, but watch him, what he does in this spot. You're not going to typically win Tapeta races. And I know the race fell apart a little bit. Excuse me. I get all that, but this was just an awesome effort and kind of just came from the clouds.
He really did. He ran him down like they were standing still, and you can see he's still pretty green, but he's got a lot of leg and he uses it in the right way. So credit to him to be able to win like that first time out. We'll see what Sammy Camacho can get together with him now, and I think that this is a nice horse. He might not be as nice as these, but we'll see. Underneath, we're just all over the place. You go with Tank as well, who the barn is slowed down just a little bit.
Yeah, here's the thing. I agree with that. Tank's got a good post position, and he'll probably be in front. I don't, you know, the 10. I didn't really want to make them favored. They can't bet enough on these being cone horses. So it's the job is to figure out who they're going to bet, not who you like. And they just keep betting this horse. And to his credit, he does have a course and distance turf win.
Yeah, exactly. And he's got 2 wins in a row now, and this is a nice post if he can work out a trip. The rails are at 66 feet, and that could be hung out wide, and that could be a very big problem. Now, race number 10, it's the late double, claiming $10,000 level, mile and a 16th on the Tapeta track. We do have a clean race of 10 here. The 7 on top for you, Swan Lake, on a little bit of a class drop.
Well, here's the thing. The only thing I've got going here, because his form's been pretty ugly of late, but 2 things, actually, I should say. He has reversed his form like a couple times in his career. Like why, we don't know, but he's done it. The other thing is what's going on here. Carlos David's going to put the 7-pound apprentice Melvis Gonzalez aboard. I got a feeling this horse might be 9 lengths in front. I think it's just go, hold your breath, try to last as long as you can, and maybe he can do it today. That's got to be he's got speed in the past, and now they're just telling you we are going today with the apprentice.
Momza and Castigano are coming out of the same race, and we'll take a look at that. Not a lot going on here, but I still think that this is maybe a good thing to show. Both of these horses, it's not where you want to be in a race like this.
No, and here's the thing now. Both of these horses had trouble, but this is another replay we want to show you where you just look at the running lines, and the chart's got it dead on, but both these horses had trouble. But don't lose sight of the fact that neither of these horses was doing any running.
Right.
Okay? And I think that's what people get. Not everybody can watch the replays. I get all that, but that's kind of our job to tell you. And people are just going to look and they're going to say, oh, stymied at the 3/16th pole. Oh, my goodness, this horse had trouble. Okay, yeah, he did. No doubt about it. But he was not going to do any running that was going to let him win the race. And I think that's significant.
The Bobby DeBona barn sends out the number 6 Danielson on a little bit of a class drop as well, and there's a stat for trainer Bobby DeBona that we have. Another barn that they love to bet with both hands when they're live. When they're not, they stay away from him. But this is second off the claim onto Pete the last 3 years, 15%. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's not great.
No.
Bobby's such a high percentage guy. I think Samantha said something very, very important. It's not going to help you in your rainbows or your late 4s and 5s, but when they bet the barn runs, and sometimes they just don't bet the barn, and they're usually right.
Yeah,
and they don't run. Pay attention.
Yeah, definitely. Now the finale here, the Showing Up Stakes, 1 mile and a 16th on the turf course. The rails are scheduled for 66 feet. I presume that is how they will remain. A very competitive field of runners here. The number 11 Mugatu is a scratch from this race, and both of us on the 10 Silent Heart. You kind of don't sound like you want to pick him.
No, I didn't want to pick him. We'll show you his race because this is important now. He's a second off the layoff too. I really should have made this horse lower because Brian's another guy, Lynch, they're going to fire on. They can't help themselves. I loved him this day. He had no excuse at all. I played him hard, and the horses that beat him are pretty nice horses. They were kind of, we'll call them second tier 3-year-old turfers. Abramar and Cugino. He ran. He had no excuse at all. He's a better horse than this group. He came back at Keeneland. He'll probably be 5-2 in here. I should have made him a little lower. The post is a little problem. And all that being said, he's not a whole heck of a lot better than this group. He is better, but it's not a lot. And we got a deep turf race with a lot of horses, trip and all that kind of stuff.
It matters. Yeah. Right to his inside, the number 9, General Ledger. This horse on the grass here was so impressive against the same level.
Yeah, no idea why, to be quite honest with you, but he ran off like a wild horse. It was a huge effort.
It was.
He's dropping in class. He's coming out of basically a listed stakes race. That's not a grade 1 race at Kentucky Downs. I'd bet a lot of beers that it will not be a grade 1 race next year at Kentucky Downs. We want to wish Howard Wolowitz, we already mentioned him, the best. Draw a line through that race. He ran okay in the Secretariat. That's as good as he can run. That was a good field.
It was.
He's back with some friends today, and he's a player as well.
Yeah, just kind of a home court play for this guy here. The number 12, Prevent, we'll show that replay really quick because it's Freedom Principle, Prevent. And is there one more?
In a Jam.
Oh, there we go. In
Cassie
a Jam.
and Barbara, the pink there. Prevent is scary today because he's going to run on the turf for the first time for Jorge Delgado.
Yep.
And he was pretty darn good on the turf to begin with. And those turf races are not all that far behind the Silent Hearts. This was a funky race. Look how quick they went. Freedom Principle just, took advantage of a race flow situation in that spot. I don't think he might never get that again, quite honestly, and they're not going to go like that today. Prevent, it's a terrible, terrible post, especially now with the rails at 66 feet. I think he's dangerous because he was a good turf horse prior, and now we're with a potent barn.
Yeah, and the tactical speed really helps, especially with this draw and with the rails being at 66 feet. You got to be close. We saw it in the finale yesterday as well.
Real quick, though, Full Nelson, who you have in the mix, I have 5th that I used on all my tickets. I think you should use him because everybody we've mentioned are way outside.
Right.
He's not bad, and he's going to save a lot of ground down there.
Yeah, and he loves to win as well. 5 for 12 in this win column. So that's very impressive for the Jose D'Angelo barn whenever they claimed this horse last year. So that's 11 of them for you today. We'll take a quick look at the lightning round. We've got a lot going on today. Enjoy your Breeders' Cup Saturday. We've got just tons of fun here, but yesterday we'll take a look back at the stakes that we had, the finale. It was kind of head scratcher a little bit.
It sure was. The other Safi, and this horse was we joked in the office, in running this horse was about 8-5. Was never ever going to lose. And I guess they knew. Very odd to me, and they didn't bet the other Safi, who was just 2 lengths behind Majestic Venezuela. Viv Verve she didn't really run. She didn't have much going on.
I did think she was just a little bit against it. That worried me, the rails. But, yeah, it's hard. I think she needs a little bit more ground to cover.
Probably so.
But still very impressive. Congrats to Safi and the team. And good luck to them. We've got Sullivan Angel up for the Princess Rooney winner up today for the filly and mare distaff? Sprint, pardon me. Yes, right. 7 furlongs. So good luck to the team there. Drayden Van Dyke sprinted out of here. Literally. To get on the plane. So good luck to all those Gulfstream connections for the Breeders' Cup today. Your best bet?
What is my... Oh, it's the 2-year-old, the first-time starter for Ruben Sierra, Indecisiveness.
Mine's gone nuts.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
No. Hey. Yeah. If you can get a single, that kicks off that's in the rainbow.
It is,
as well.
Yeah.
Long shot. We'll see what we get on the old veteran there, Swan Lake.
Oh, yes.
Speed play for me.
And my long shot, I know, is... Oh, well, see, this is a problem for me now because I liked this horse on the grass, and now...
Oh, yeah, he's no good on Tapeta.
No good on the Tapeta. Okay, so no more long shot for me. That is 11 races for you. 1, 4, and 7 are off the turf. We'll send it upstairs to Darren, who's been doing a great job while Pete is taking a knee, and we'll see you back for the opener in just a minute.